Now, Bobby, I'm going to direct this at you. Now we find out they're in this anti-government group called God's Misfits, but yet I don't think they were on the FBI's screen. And that's not unusual because, look, there's gangs across every city in this country that are a gang, but no one knows about them. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, yeah, they're misfits, no doubt. So I think the term fits. I don't know about God's misfits, but they look like a bunch of misfits. So, like, for the FBI to kind of pay attention to all these different white trash tweaker groups that are out there doing whatever. I mean, if they're committing crimes, that's one thing. But I don't think that this group was any criminal mastermind, as evidenced by the quick arrests in this case, right? These guys weren't these men and women were not out there causing a lot of havoc and undermining the government. They did, they looked like low information people. And yeah, look at them. I mean, it's just, I hate to judge anybody on their appearance, but I will judge these people on their appearance. And I can tell you that until they're found guilty by, beyond a reasonable doubt in court, they're presumed innocent. But with the speed of the investigation and what we're hearing as far as a witness, it's pretty clear what happened here. The minute I heard there was a nasty custody battle going on, I go, whoa, there you go. I mean, it's the same thing when you get every time you hear these custody battles, these vicious custody battles in relation to a missing wife or a missing husband, or, it's right there in front of you. And I wonder, when I first heard about these arrests, I wonder, like, you look at these four and they're getting together, and obviously it was premeditated. It was planned. They diverted the car down a certain road. Like, when you're doing this planning, when they're sitting around their double wide and they're planning this out, like, how do you think you're going to get away with it? Like, the police, the husband's always the first suspect, right? Well, in a custody battle, the family is going to be the first, the family on, what looks to be the losing side, or who feels they might be losing, is going to be looked at. You're going to be the principal suspects. How do you think you're going to get away with something like this? It just baffles me.
Bobby, and Mike, I'm going to direct this to you. Right away, early on in the investigation, we said, right, let's do the victimology. Let's find out who Veronica Butler is. And right away, what pops up is what Bobby just said.
Right. The
custody battle. That must be the reason that this happened. That must be the reason that, this violence occurred. Your thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, Billy, this goes back, this custody battle goes back to 2017 and involves Rickman, the husband or the boyfriend, and the family, the Adams family. Now, there was, and we talked about this the other day, Ms. Butler had just recently asked for a new court date, April 17th. There was going to be a new court date for Butler to challenge the present visitation setup. And I opine that I think that might have actually been the moment that they said, we got to do something. Whenever they filed those papers and the judge gave them a date of April 17th, I think from that point on, she was, that had signed her own death warrant, and they were planning to take her down. There was other sorts of things that they wanted to do, like, for instance, drop an anvil through her.
That's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, and so I think that's where it happened, and we said it, and thank you, Bobby, for saying the same thing. We said the same thing. I mean, evil is so predictable in certain situations, and this is, you don't need to have Sherlock Holmes on your side to say, okay, this sounds like something we've heard many times before. There are people out there who think nobody will ever figure out a motive, how this happened. We can do this. We can put our little brains together and do this and trip up all the homicide investigators in the state of Oklahoma. That's crazy. And look at the evil that they visited upon the Butler and Kelly family.
Well, that's because they are God's misfits.